Hi everyone, welcome back to another episode of Tastefully Balanced. I'm Miriam, and for today's meal prep episode, I am making curries. So I'm making a different curry for lunch and a different curry for dinner. I had a whole month dedicated to curries, so you guys already know that I love my curries. So I thought it was perfect to create a meal prep menu with just curries. So if you guys love meal prepping, please subscribe and keep watching. All right, welcome back. Let's dive right into it so I can share with you guys all the different things that I made for this week, starting with breakfast. So for breakfast, making curries and keeping with that curry theme was a little hard, so I cheated a little bit. So breakfast is not going to be a curry item. Instead, I made my chia pudding that, I don't think I ever shared with you guys, but it's really easy and it's just something that comes together very quickly with a very limited amount of ingredients. So for my chia pudding, I started off by pouring about 8 ounces of unsweetened almond vanilla milk. You can use any type of milk that you want. And then to that, I add 2 tablespoons of chia seeds. Chia seeds are so amazing, guys. It's so good for your gut health. It just kind of sweeps all of the insides as it's digesting. Just because if you've noticed, if you've ever seen chia seeds, once it's soaking in a liquid, it gets very gooey, slimy. It just kind of expands and it's got really good texture. So it's perfect for pudding because it just kind of thickens everything up. After I added the chia seeds, I went ahead and added some cocoa powder and a little bit of salt, and then topped it off with about 5-6 drops of stevia. Now, the sweetener, you can do whatever type of sweetener that you want, and you can honestly not add any sweetener and just add some type of fruit instead. So I added blueberries to mine just because I had fresh blueberries that I wanted to use. If you're using frozen blueberries, I would suggest doing it right then and there and letting it kind of melt into the chia seeds, and then it will be nice and thick in consistency. If you were to top it off in the morning, it'll still be kind of frozen. I prefer it to be a little bit more on the softer side for frozen fruits, but this comes together really fast. You give it a good shake in the mason jar or give it a good stir if you're using a container, and that's it. Let it sit overnight, and that's it. That is breakfast, and you can honestly top it off with any type of fruits that you want, any type of chocolate chips, nuts, coconut shavings, anything. It's really versatile once you get the base down. Peanut butter, I've had it with peanut butter and it's absolutely delicious because then you got this nice creamy peanut butter chocolate chia pudding, but it's delicious. Give it a try. Let me know what you guys think about this breakfast because it's definitely one of my go-tos. All right, so for lunch, I decided to make a curry, a Thai curry. So I've already shared with you guys a Penang curry from scratch, but if you watched that video, you saw how involved it was and how many different ingredients you needed to make the curry paste from scratch. And honestly, I know people don't have that much time on hand, and especially if you're meal prepping for the entire week, you want things to go a little bit faster. So I decided not to use my curry paste that I made at home. Instead, I wanted to share with you guys a way to make this curry with a paste instead. So I decided to make green curry, and it's just nice and spicy, which is what I was kind of craving. And I wanted it to be a tofu green curry. So all I did for this, really easy, is I went ahead and put some oil down in a wok. Once that was warmed up, I added some onions, some ginger and garlic, and then at that point, I went ahead and added my curry paste. I went ahead and used this Mayplow, I might be pronouncing it wrong, green curry paste, but I love this brand. There is also a Aroidi or Aroidi, I think, I'm not sure if that's the right name, but that one also is really good. Those are the two that I tend to buy all the time, but I went ahead and added about 2 tablespoons of this. Now, if you want it to be less spicy, you would obviously add less because all of the spices are in this curry paste. You don't need to add anything else. except for maybe soy sauce or fish sauce, which I'll show you guys later. But I went ahead and added that, sauteed that, just making sure that it warmed up and kind of heated with the oil and the onions and garlic. Once that was all good, I went ahead and poured 2 cans of coconut milk. I used a light one and a full fat one, just so that it wasn't very thick, because I wanted to make sure that it's still on the lighter side. So that's why I didn't use both full fat ones, but I still used one so it's not completely watery. And then once it started bubbling, I went ahead and added all my veggies. So for my veggies, I used some green beans, mushrooms, bell pepper, and that was it. That was my veggies for the week for this curry. And once the curry was bubbling again and the veggies were a little bit softer, I went ahead, added a package of some firm tofu. Now I add the tofu a little bit later because I don't want it to break apart or get too hot and dissolve. So I tend to add it a little bit later. Once the curry was nice and hot with the tofu, I added something a little bit different that I've never added before to anything, and I've actually never tried it myself. And it's shirataki noodles, which is a miracle noodle. That's what it's called in the stores, but it's a low carb yam noodle. And by low carb, I mean this entire package had maybe about 20 or 30 calories. It's amazing. I have no idea that it tasted as good as it did, but I just went ahead, added it to my curry just for extra component to it. And that way I'm not topping it on top of rice or quinoa or whatever. It just kind of changes it up a little bit. And honestly, it tastes very much like rice noodles. Still has a crunch so it doesn't get mushy, which is what I was kind of afraid of, and something that I'm definitely going to be picking up a lot of next time. I bought my ingredients from Wajimaya, so you'll find it there, but I think Whole Foods even has it, and they have all different variations of it, like spaghetti, angel hair. This one was a noodle version. Definitely a win. And then that was it. I just kind of let that bubble up, and then as a little added flavoring, you see that I added some fish sauce. Now you can add soy sauce instead of fish sauce if that's not something you like, but I just added fish sauce, and that was it. Nice and simple, came together in less than 30 minutes, and with all the veggie and protein that it's packed with, it's such a great lunch item. And then I just had a boiled egg on the side and some quinoa that I cooked in vegetable broth. So I wanted to kind of change it up from having rice so much, and so I thought quinoa would be great. And that is lunch. So super excited to have lunch all this week because I love Thai food, if you guys didn't know that already. So yes. All right, for dinner, I decided to keep it very simple and make my Japanese curry. Now, this is a recipe that I've already shared with you guys in my under 30-minute meal series, and it's just so easy and it's so delicious, and you can make a lot of it, which is why I love coming back to this recipe. And it's just packed with a lot of protein. I think I used ground chicken instead of ground turkey like I did in my original episode, but I had only chicken, so I decided to use that, and I might have played around with the veggies and put some different veggies in, but it's such a versatile and easy curry to make. It's kind of a different take on a curry, so if you're not used to Japanese curry or if you've never had it, then it's something that you probably want to try before you actually make it, or make a small batch of it to first try it out. But I love it, my husband and I love it. It's so easy to make, and paired with some rice, which is what we did, it's absolutely delicious. We also like to have a side of kimchi with it, or some pickled ginger, and really that's it. It's such an easy dinner and it comes together really quickly. So highly recommend you guys checking out that episode and checking out the recipe, because it could not be easier. All right, and then as usual for snacks, we've got some oranges, some white nectarines, apples, and bananas. I like to have a fridge and pantry full of fruits just because it's easy. I also shared with you guys Wednesday some really easy, healthy protein snacks that I like to grab. All right, so that is my meal prep for the week, curry style. I love my curries, all different kinds. So if you guys have a favorite curry that you make all the time, let me know in the comments, because you guys know I love making curries. So I'd love to try your take on different ones or some family favorites that I've never even heard of. So anyways, if you guys like meal prepping as much as I do, please comment, like, share, and subscribe. And as always, live life tastefully balanced.